We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
In recognition of great African American achievers, this Black History Month, let's bring our A game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. How we doing? Hopefully we're doing fine. Hopefully we're doing fine. I finally went and got my new liners, and I had to have them cut on the left side. So I only got liners from here to here because they weren't tracking on this side. So the dentist just cut them. She was like, boop, boop, boop. We'll move them on this side. So that's interesting. But at least they don't hurt. So I'm cool with that. Okay. So put a T in the chat if the title is true. Put a F in the chat if the title is false. Put a T in the chat if the title is true. Put an F in the chat if the title is false. Okay. So I see mostly F's, but I see a lot of T's as well. Okay. So today we're going to talk about whether or not there's a such thing as a valuable woman. What am I talking about? Is there a such thing as a woman that exists in the world that adds value anywhere to anyone at any time for any reason? Is there a such thing as a woman that is valuable to anybody for any reason at any time? And we're going to discuss what value is and what it isn't. Here's the thing. A valuable woman is not the same thing as a valuable man. Her value is not measured the same. It's not in the same area. She's not valuable for the same thing at all. So if we're looking at a woman's value based on whether or not she's valuable in the same way men are valuable, she's going to always not have any value. That's just like judging a fish on how well it can climb a tree. If you judge the fish on how well it can climb a tree, it's always going to be a failure, and it's always not going to have any value. If you judge a fish on how well it swims, now we got something. Now we got something. If you judge a woman on whether or not she can bring anybody to 4 P's, she's gonna be a failure. Because she can't do that. That's not within her nature. That's not something she can do. It's not something she's ever gonna do. Ever. She can't do it successfully, no matter how hard she tries, no matter what she learns, no matter how intelligent she is, no matter what skill set she has, no matter what tutelage she's been under. She's never going to give anybody a successful 4 Ps. She's not going to do it. If you're judging a woman on whether or not she can build society, failure. Complete failure. She's not going to be able to do it. She's not going to be able to plan it out. She's not going to be able to set up a society and civilization. She's not going to be able to problem solve for it. She's not going to be able to do any of that stuff. Can't do it. A fail. She's going to fail at it every time. No matter what it is. If we're judging it off of whether or not she can do what men can do, and if we're judging it off whether or not she can add the same kind of value to the world that a man brings to the world, she gonna always fail that test. Every single time, every last woman on earth is going to fail. So then the question becomes, has there ever been a valuable woman anywhere? If she can't build the world, if she can't forge a society, if she can't build a world both from a physical standpoint and an intangible or abstract standpoint and a concrete standpoint, if she can't do that, what good is she ever gonna be to anybody? So now we're getting down to what would make her valuable and to whom. And I'm not gonna speak from a world of what could be and what should be, but a world as it is. We live in 2022 in a world that teaches women how to be the worst possible human beings to walk the earth. So now, what makes her valuable? What makes a woman valuable in this society? The first thing that we have to understand is that there are 2 pathways presented to everybody, because even though I am talking specifically about women today, hey Charles, how you doing? Long time no see. Even though we're talking about women today, we cannot sit here and say that men have not been corrupted by the lost value system just like women have been, because you can't be in an environment where you're completely unaffected by it. Thank you, Eugene. Say, is it fair to say that a woman's femininity is a big part of her value like a man's masculinity is a big part of his? Yes, it is. That would be true. But how does a woman cultivate femininity in this day and age? Hey, Ray. How does she do that? In a world that tells her she don't need that. In a world that not only ignores a woman's femininity, but discourages her from being that. See, everybody's been touched by the lost value system. It's just that men, it displayed differently in men than it do in women. Thank you for your contribution, Norrin. Thank you so much. It just play out in men differently than it play out in women, because we know men get touched by the lost value system because that's where we get F-19s from. That's where we get male hyenas from. That's where we get the Maguls and the Simps, and that's where we get them guys from. That's where them guys come from. That's why they exist. This is why you get the guys that, you know what I'm saying, to go out on the corner, the doughboy, that this, that, and the third. This is how you get that guy. Because what he's doing is placing his own value according to the lost value system. Because he's putting wealth and leisure above his spiritual health, family, and everything else internal. This is how you get that guy, right? So it manifests itself differently in men than it does in women. Women are just naturally chaotic anyway. So if you add a value system that promote the chaos, you're gonna see it go up to such an astronomical level that it's gonna be all over her. She's not gonna be able to even cloak it or hide it at all. If she subscribed to this is going to be evident in every part of her life. Thank you, Miss Lou Casey. And thank you, Kamar. Okay? It's going to show up in every single part of her life. See, the thing that I have to stress to everybody is that culture, socialization, society works so differently on women than on men. So differently. And the reason why it works so differently, the reason why there's a higher percentage of men that can kind of see their way out of the lost value system as opposed to women that can see their way out of the lost value system is because of the nature of men and women and the differences of that. See, men have a tendency towards, they don't always do it depending on how deeply ingrained and entrenched they are in a backwards value system, but generally speaking, men have a tendency towards opposing environment. Particularly when we talk about black men, he doesn't get any coddling from the environment he's in. So because he doesn't really get coddling from it, because he doesn't really get any like true benefit from it, or even anything that he can consider a benefit or think it's a benefit, he has more of a tendency to try to actively find another path, because the path before him doesn't necessarily benefit him. And at some point, more men will figure that out versus more women figuring that out. And the reason is mainly twofold. Number one, his tendency towards opposing an environment that he doesn't necessarily see as beneficial to him. And number two, men are not naturally socialized to have to be with the group. if that makes sense. Women, on the other hand, do not have a tendency to actively oppose her teaching. If it is a cultural teaching, if it is something that her generation before her, all the women around her, and all of this type of stuff is doing the same thing or teaching her the same thing, she has no reason to, first of all, think that it's wrong. She don't think it's wrong. Because she's not a guy that's gonna actively look to oppose, she's not going to. The other reason why she's not going to actively oppose is because there is seeming benefit in behaving this way or being socialized this way. She's gonna get a certain amount of coddling, and she's gonna get a certain amount of encouragement towards it. Thank you, Miss Celine said we're the weaker vessel, so we easily dupe more. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So she's not going to oppose, especially if she thinks she getting benefit or she's told it's gonna benefit her some kind of way. Then she just gonna take it on. That's what we're designed to do. That's actually one of the most dangerous parts of the lost value system, and why women are affected more and why we're targeted more for this. And you'll see a whole bunch more women taking this value system on and really living by it and really swearing by it. Kind of no matter what happened, she gonna go along with this no matter how destructive it ends up being. You know what I'm saying? She always gonna think she gonna be the one to get away, and it's not gonna be destructive, right? This value system that we're currently living under specifically tells women to discard femininity by default of being raised in such a society. Women are taught several things. Number one, she's taught feminism and everything that go along with it, including masculinity, misandry, okay, and a lack of spiritual value, aversion to the truth, which leads to delusion. Lack of spiritual value leads to a person that ain't got no love, no empathy, doesn't involve themselves in justice. They don't have any peace. They don't have any heart. An empty shell of a person, a very superficial person, a person that don't got no depth to them. When you peel back the layers, it's empty. Okay? What my daddy used to call not working with no thought. Not working with nothing. Just dumb. An idiot, basically. Able to be puppeteered like the puppeteering because she don't got a brain anyway. She gonna blindly keep following things that affirm how she feel, confirmation bias all over the place. She gonna continue to do that kind of stuff. Right? This is the path of default in this society. The lost value system is default. I need people to understand that. She doesn't choose the lost value system. Lost value system chooses her. Ultimately, it makes her worthless because it teaches her to discard everything that could possibly make her valuable. It puts these things in a bad light for her. It threatens to outcast her. Thank you again, Celine. Say God made us to be the weaker vessel in order to be more malleable, to be a helpmeet to a husband. We follow even when we don't consciously think so, which is true. Thank you again, Miss Lucchese said, OMG, aversion to the truth is so true in a modern society. Just learned something today with your presentation. Thank you so much. And thank you, Chano. So I've nicknamed these women the super stupids. And they are stupid. It is a stupidity. See, when I'm explaining this stuff, This isn't an explanation as to why anybody should feel sorry. I'm laying groundwork for a reason. Because I'm laying this groundwork to demonstrate why a woman is valuable when she doesn't do this. Thank you, Miss Raven. So a lot of women are walking around like literal zombies with the coldest heart. Spirit just gone. Can't even smile. Exactly. Just no spirit, nothing. It ain't nothing in there. It's just, okay, the three women, the three females, the GMOs, shout out to Miss Danica, that tore up Bell Fries in New York. Okay? The senator that twerked. Okay? This is by default. This is why they don't feel bad about it. This is why they don't feel no type of way about it. This is why they feel comfortable with it. Because this is a default setting now. This is a default setting. 100 years ago, it wasn't. Today it is. Default. And see, I need people to understand it because it's not just a simple matter. See, the reason why I wanted to point out the difference between how men approach the world and how women approach the world is because it's natural to men to start opposing stuff and then finding their own way. Because while men are human beings that like to be social and are socialized, they're also not afraid and not opposed to strike out on their own against the grain, to try to find his own path, to do things that's normal to men. And because it's normal to men to do that, they might be thinking, well, why women can't do that? Why women can't do that? Why do all the women do the same thing, seem like? Why come they just don't buck the trend? Why come they don't do that? Because it's not in our nature to do that. It's actually not in our nature to do that. It's in your nature to do that. It's not in my nature to do it. But here's how it gets overcome. Okay? Here's how it gets overcome. Because a lot of the women listening don't know how to do this. It's scary to strike out away from the group. Right? For women. For women, it's scary to strike out away from the group. To do things where the other women and the whole of society is gonna be against you. For women, that's scary. For men, that's not quite as scary. Because the thing that men are gonna think is, well, I can make it on my own. Bump all y'all. Now, I don't need y'all. I can forge my own way. Forget it. But women have a dependency on her environment to socialize and inform what she can and can't do. What she is or is not allowed to do. It's juxtaposed by the fact that women are also adults and are responsible for their own spiritual well-being and the path that they take in life. Although susceptible as we may be to environment, to socialization, things of that nature, we're still counted upon as intelligent adult human beings that are expected to understand right from wrong and make the proper choice. Accountability. That would be called accountability. Thank you, Wiggy. So I used to think it was narcissism going wild with the over-the-top antics. Now I'm 100% sure it's depression that our women are suffering with. They're suffering with a lot of things. I think both things are true, actually. Now, how am I coming to this? Because if you think about it from a spiritual standpoint, regardless of the fact that the Most High created us as women to be a weaker vessel with various different weaknesses of our spirit, weaknesses in some respects, our intelligence, we don't have a lot of foresight, all of these things, we're still expected to make the right choice spiritually. And we're just as expected to do that just as much as the men are. There's actually no slack. It's the only place, in point of fact, let me go a little further before I go to commercial break. In point of fact, that's the only area, spiritual, is the only area where men and women are exactly equals. Spiritual is the only place where men and women are exactly equals. Why? Why am I saying that? Because the requirement for heaven is the same for a man and a woman. The ability to go to heaven is the same, a man and a woman. And the ability to be condemned to the hellfire, the same. Man, woman. Most High requires proper belief from man and woman. Most High requires proper actions, man, woman. 10 Commandments doesn't have a gender on it. That was for everybody. I need y'all to let me know you follow what I'm saying. Spiritual value is the only place where men and women are equal. We can equally earn Allah's pleasure, or we can equally earn his punishment. Now, what we're going to do is hit a commercial break, and then I'm going to explain how a woman becomes valuable. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, a.k.a. Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A-game, he's been on top of his A-game. What? When I say A-game, I mean his A-game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog, just because I want some sleep, if you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-game, fellas. Get your A-game.
It's that blood circulation. Okay, so now we kind of talked about why women lack value in this day and age. Okay, why she lacks value. So what makes her valuable then? What makes a woman valuable? See, we talked about before this. Her personal market value, her belonging market value, her friendship market value, her sexual market value, her marriage market value. But what does all of that even mean? See, the first thing is that not following the default is a conscious choice. A valuable woman is not made by happenstance. It is not a fluke. It is not haphazard. It is not a mistake. It is completely on purpose. How she becomes valuable in a society that tells her she should not be valuable, or redefines for her what value is and leads her down a wrong path. See, we've been living in a society long enough to see the outcomes. The outcomes, whose outcome? The outcome of women that have lived the lost value system, the feminist way, the gynocentric way, the hyena way, had the strong and independent mindset, the I don't need no man mindset, the Skittles community mindset, all of these corruptions that she's gotten herself into, all of these chaotic spaces that she's gotten herself into, all of these things that are devoid of any order that she's gotten herself into, that she's comfortable being chaotic. She's comfortable without no order. And believe you me, they comfortable without no order. A woman that go against that grain, especially how entrenched we are with it. This isn't just start yesterday. Several generations have passed. Okay? A woman who is valuable, who creates value for herself, is choosing actively to live her life according to the 10 life values. But how does she get there? How does she get there? Before I go on, I have to tell you, this is why I come here every day. To answer that question on the title. Because it's really a question. There's no such thing as a valuable black woman. We're actually trying to reverse that concept. I come here every day, and it can be entertaining. It can be funny to talk about back feet and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it is kind of funny. But at the same time, the reason why I come here to talk to y'all about the Britney ran through renters of the world, these idiots out here, the Kardashians, the these ones and that ones, the reason why I come with the videos and the little short snippets and, you know what I'm saying, and all these types of things, the reason why we talked about the Tierra Mack situation, the reason why we talk about all of this kind of stuff is because women need to first be pointed out that there is something wrong with the default path. There's something wrong with it. Just because you got taught it, just because somebody told you was right, just because your mama set you on that path, doesn't mean that it's not bad. Because if we sit back and we take a look at what the outcomes have been, you know it's bad. You know it's destructive. You know that it's something that takes the soul out of a woman. You know that. This is why I keep repeating it. I come here to basically do two things. Number one, expose the destructive path of the lost value system. That has to be exposed. This is why we keep going over it and over it and over it and over it. It's not just to be funny. It's not just to roast and clown nobody. Thank you once again, Norin. It's not just to roast and clown nobody. It's not just to sit back and laugh or whatever, or say, or just shake your head. Ooh, these people so crazy. Yeah, but what's behind that? What's deeper than that? Because to get you to this point was a repetitive brainwash. See, they just didn't introduce the lost value system one time. They didn't just say it one time. They didn't just inundate you. They didn't just, put it on one commercial or put it on one television program or put it on one movie. It's been a repetitive thing over and over and over and over for decades, hammering it in. Infiltrating every part of your life. Every part of it has been infiltrated by the lost value system and everything that it represents, all the misandry that it represents, all the gynocentrism that it represents, all of the masculinity for women that it represents, all of the trying to make men effeminate that it represents, all of the backwards, topsy-turvy, upside down, put the spiritual on the bottom, put the wealth on the top, then corrupt all 10, all of that, all of it was on repeat. Constantly. They didn't stop putting it. They went from a couple of television shows to every television show. They went from one or two little movies that used to be taboo to every movie now. Everywhere you look, everywhere it is, there's nothing but delusion and an aversion of truth. I just watched in full the documentary that Matt Walsh did, What is a Woman? Put a 1 in the chat if you've watched that documentary. If you haven't, you should. Put a 1 in the chat if you have watched that documentary. One of the things that stood out to me in that documentary was the open-faced lying. The complete aversion away from any truth that would lead you out of the American nightmare. Every time he circled around a basic truth, they was like dodging it like the Matrix. They was worse than Keanu Reeves. Just something simple as define the word woman without using the word woman. And then it was like, you trying, I don't like where this interview going. Like, what is wrong with y'all? But we already know what's wrong with them. Thank you, Chano, said best documentary today. It's very interesting. I'm going to talk about it in detail in days to come. The complete delusion. And it's purposeful. It's a purposeful delusion. It's not even by mistake. It's not even born out of ignorance. It's real, specific, and purposeful. So it's been on repeat the entire time. The other reason that I'm here is, okay, the first reason that I come to y'all, let me repeat that, is to expose the lost value system path and expose everything that come with that. That's why I can constantly do content after content after content. I'm not trying to be boring with the content, but I gotta keep pointing it out every day. Every day it's gotta be pointed out. The second reason is to reveal the better path that leads to success and thriving, because you can't just tell people that the path that they on is bad, but then you don't give them no alternative, or you don't got no better, brighter idea. Because if you just come to people and be like, oh, it's bad, you know what I'm saying, to do this and do that, it's bad to be strong and independent, it's bad, but you can't say why it's bad, and on top of that, you can't say what's better than that, you're gonna get dismissed. Like, girl, get out of my face. Because you ain't got no better idea for me to do nothing. So get out of my face, because I don't even want to know what you're talking about. So this is why, you know what I'm saying, I would talk about the three hyenas that trampled their back feet into a restaurant all because of some sauce. So let me go back to what makes a woman valuable. Like I said, it's not a mistake. It's not by happenstance. It's not by chance. It's not, you know what I'm saying, a luck of the draw or a fluke or none of that type of stuff. She's existing by choice. A very conscious and deliberate choice. She recognizes the destruction, the outcome that other women have met. And she don't want no smoke with that. Because she doesn't want any smoke with that outcome, she begins to do something very critical. She begins to work on herself internally to try to discover another path other than the lost value system she was taught since birth. Because like I told you, if you was born in a Western country like America, you're automatically a feminist. Okay? A woman is automatically going to be taught feminism. She's gonna be taught how to be a hyena. Okay? Ain't no such thing as not being taught that. She's gonna be taught that. Now, whether or not she keep going with that is the deciding factor. And she only gonna buck that trend for one of two reasons. Either she has a value system set by her family that rivals the lost value system, or she's gonna eventually realize that she needs another value system other than the one that was given to her. See, I'm gonna go into something. This is why the so-called American government, if that's what you want to call it and all that kind of stuff, don't like Muslims. Because we come with a value system. And it's real hard to break us from it. You may get the individuals, but it's real hard to get the group. Because even in this society, as corrupt as it is, I've known plenty of Muslim families that raise their kids with an Islamic value system, and even if the kids kind of stray off, they come back. They never truly buy completely into it. Only a few really do that. And then if you buy completely into it, you come back and do what? You just disgraced all of us. This is why, and I'm gonna go into it. I didn't ever cover it. But this is why Mia Khalifa can't go back to her family. Y'all know who that is. Poor Man Podcast, I do believe, did a video about a month ago, something like that. Thank you, Hakeem, that was talking about Mia Khalifa was a porn star, but she's of Arab descent. And apparently she used to do porn scenes with her hijab on. With hijab on. The country she come from was like, you can't come back here. Her family was like, we don't know you. We don't know you. You can't come back. Can't come back. Because you've bought all the way into it. So stay. You know, maybe Allah forgive you or something like that. We ain't got no jurisdiction over that. But you can't come back and chill with us. Because you're not going to bring that value system into our family and back into the community. Because you went over there and you traded your value system for that one. That's what you did. That's what they're saying. You traded the value system that you had for a lost value system. That's why they don't like Muslims. Value system is too strong because it's ingrained in everything. See, our value system, this is why I talk about the 10 life values. For those of you who think that I have somehow teaching something that go against Islam or something that I think is better than Islam or some way of life or system that I think replaces astaghfirullah. I talk about and endorse the 10 life values because these are the values that Islam has. It's the exact same one. And it permeates all of it. Spiritual is number one because it permeates all of them. See, how I do my health is tied to what's going on spiritually with me. Even the prophet said, you know, don't fill your stomach all the way up. 1/3 food, 1/3 water, 1/3 empty. So you ain't even supposed to be fat. In Islam, you ain't even supposed to be fat. Something wrong. Something going on that you're fat. You're supposed to keep your family together. Islam real big on family. You're supposed to keep your family together almost at any cost. You're supposed to be able to keep your appearance together at any cost. This is why they don't want Mia Khalifa coming back. Because not only did she trade her value system, your appearance value shot. No. And you was disrespecting the deen by doing prawn scenes in your dang on scarf. Wrong with you? You're supposed to have your dwelling intact. Your home is supposed to be like a masjid. Thank you, 39 Dina. From mobility on down to wealth, Islam describes how you're supposed to deal in each one of them areas. You're supposed to have mobility in the society. You're supposed to have mobility down to the actual transportation. You're supposed to have your own transportation. You're supposed to be educated in Islam. We ain't supposed to be stupid. You're supposed to have a profession that supports your purpose, which is located in your spiritual value. All of you. Even your leisure, what kind of leisure that you know what I'm saying, involve yourself in is dictated by the spiritual value. And of course, having wealth is dictated by the spiritual value. You just can't do anything to get some money. And you supposed to have some money, because how you going to have your mobility and you ain't got no money? How you going to feed the community? How you going to serve? You ain't got no money. How you going to pay your zakat? How you going to give your sadaqah? How you going to do any of that? You ain't got no money. How you going to take Hajj? Now, that was for those of you who think this is somehow separate from the life I actually live. But what I wanted to really talk and point out is that it starts with that awakening. Spiritual value, spiritual awakening actually starts with the clearing of the vision so you can see that there are two paths. Then you have to have, as a woman, a willingness to walk this other path that is going to ostracize you. You got to willingly walk that path. You got to willingly do that. Only after the spiritual awakening, then she began to care about herself. Her love for herself starts at the spiritual value and it trickles all the way down. This is where the health comes in at. This is why valuable women are not fat. Yeah, it's got something to do with the aesthetics, but it also got something to do with self-love and your health. This is why these big old women, 300-400 pounds, talking about what they deserve, it is a hallmark of the lost value system. It's a hallmark of it that says health is not paramount. Because for a high value woman, it's not about just the aesthetics of looking good, but it is about the health itself. I got to be healthy so I can live a long life. I'm not trying to be bogged down by all these health issues because I wasn't taking care of myself. Give you an example of how you turn the health value around to something in the lost value system. BBLs. BBLs are a part of the lost value system. BBLs is a part of the lost value system because BBLs are shortcuts that endanger your health in a trade for aesthetics rather than promote your health, and the good aesthetics is the byproduct of good health. You understand what I said? The BBL is a part of the lost value system because that endangers your health in turn for the aesthetic. Thank you, Teray. So she will go almost kill herself to go get some fat removed out of her gut to put it in her butt, hope she don't die. And you still ain't did no lifestyle change to make sure you healthy. You still ain't did that. All to get the aesthetics to facilitate within the lost value system, wealth, leisure, and profession. How? What is you talking about, Crimson Cure? How is it that a BBL improve wealth, leisure, and profession? Because in the lost value system, a woman get her wealth how? In the lost value system, a woman gets her wealth how? Not through perseverance and hard work. She gets her wealth by looking a certain way and going to men to usurp it. She uses that same look to engage in what she hopes to be never-ending leisure on some man's dime. And she can even utilize it as a form of profession, sex work, OnlyFans, porn, etc., etc. That's why I'm saying it's part of the lost value system. I would never go get a BBL. We gonna do natural BBLs around here. If you got too much fupa going on and not enough butt, and you want to transfer that to your butt, I suggest a lot of shoulder tap planks, a lot of twisting planks, a lot of Russian crunchies, a lot of squats and lifts. I suggest cutting down some of them carbs. I suggest stop all that drinking. Eat you a little bit healthier meal. Put you some salads in there. Okay? And you can get a natural BBL. If you didn't, if God didn't bless you with a dump truck, but you want a dump truck, you can get a dump truck. It might be a mini dump, but you can get one. You may not get the biggest dump truck, but you get a mini dump. If you want to be a Lamborghini, but you're not a Lamborghini though, you can do a little something, to get you a few yams in there. Get you a few yams in there. Nothing wrong with a few yams. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody ain't gonna have a bushel of yams. You might have, you know what I'm saying, a little bowl full of yams. That's okay. It's all right not to have a basket of yams. Everybody ain't got a basket. You understand what I'm saying? It's men out there that want you with a little bitty bowl of yams. Some men want the basket, and some men, he all right with the bowl. He all right with the bowl. He all right with the bowl. There is, and I'm going to wrap it up in a minute. There is significant value for a woman in this society that consciously denies the lost value system in favor of the 10 life values. She developed her value by going against the grain of society. And this is significant because women are always groomed by her society. And a woman who is living her life according to the 10 life values is self-imposing discipline. She's self-imposing order. She's self-imposing standards in a time and in a place that says she don't got to do that. That encourages her to be the exact opposite type of woman, to be the worst kind of woman in the world. That's why I laid out the groundwork in the beginning to illustrate just how difficult it is in this society to look at two paths and take the harder one. It's too easy to get caught up. That's the easy route. It's easy to, I'm a city girl, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to do that stupid stuff. It's easy to be stupid. It's easy for women to be chaotic because that is the root of our nature anyway. So it's easy for us to do that. We're really at home with being chaotic. And so for us to self-impose discipline, structure, order, values, that is a tremendous feat for a woman in this society that not only doesn't encourage, it actively discourages her. It actively discourages it to the point where they be talking about they can't even define what a woman is no more. That's how bad it's gotten. So, is there a such thing as a valuable black woman? Of course there is. Of course there is. She may be fewer in number than we would like, but this is part of the work to actually turn that around and make her higher in number, more common, more common. And Dr. Michelle says something very important. She said the danger of the lost value system is that it doesn't appear to be lost at all. It is presented as the path to success, happiness, accomplishment, and influence. And that is so incredibly true, which is why so many women get pulled in and they don't question it. Because they're told, okay, this is how you be successful. What do people want to be successful? What do women want? To be liked, to be successful, to be adored, for people to, like her and look at her and admire her and blah, 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 blah. This is what women like. That's why it's so attractive. So hopefully we got something out of it today. Hopefully I was able to break that down today in a way that people could really digest it and people could really, give us something to ponder on and things of that nature. But what else we should ponder on is the lost value system, because Patrisse Cullors and Black Lives Matter has been the poster child for what goes on in the lost value system. When you tell a group of people, hey, we're going to advocate for y'all. We're going to put together an organization that advocates and is the voice for the people in the hoods that are voiceless. We're going to be that voice. And then we're going to take your money and run with it. Quintessential value system. Lost value system, because wealth was at the top. No detachment. Spiritual was way at the bottom. No truth. It was a lie from the start. So we have a petition where the link is in the description box and in the chat, where we're holding Black Lives Matter accountable for that big old lie that they told everybody. Okay, and all the money that they stole. So if you also want to be part of holding them accountable, please sign, share, and contribute to the petition. And also today's wonderful show, informative show, even I learned something today, was brought to you by A.Game. A.Game, A.Game, Okay, it's about that blood circulation, okay? And what does the blood circulation do for the guys? It improves his vitality, his energy, his strength, and his libido. So potent that you only take it once every 3 days, okay? With a whole bunch of water. It's only 21 herbs in here. Somebody asked in the comment section at one point whether or not this was okay for keto and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have any effect on any particular diet that you might be taking. It's designed not to have any side effects, okay? So if you're on keto and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to disrupt any of that. It is completely natural. It is no animal byproducts or anything like that. So if you're vegan, vegetarian, you could take it. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's really just about increasing the men's blood flow and improving those 4 areas. Okay. So if you want to be part of the A-Game family, all you got to do is click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com. And please don't forget your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. And you will get this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. I want to thank everyone for coming through, for your generous contributions through Super Chat, through Cash App, and through PayPal. And last but not least, I want to say thanks to my support team, without which I can do none of these shows. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.